That, my friends, is the sound of money. This is Lou, your rideshare coach. Hey guys, it's Lou, your rideshare coach, back again with another episode. In this episode, I'm going to talk about, like I'm piggybacking on the last topic we had, and just keeping it simple. I want to talk about using text messaging. Simple, right? In addition to being proactive and calling your passengers ahead of time, there may and will be times when that phone call is a waste. Why? Because they can't hear you on the phone. Let me paint a picture. It's 4th of July. Nashville had, let's call it one of the top three. Actually, they told us we were number one in firework displays. There were over 250,000 people reportedly in downtown Nashville. And I'm driving that evening and, excited because I know the rates are going to be good. It's going to be lucrative. The traffic's going to be good, really good, supremely good. And it was. So let me explain. At the time, Lyft had this, and it's still around, but, it was called prime time. It's called prime time. It's when there's a high demand for cars and a low supply that causes the rates to go up. It's just a thing that all rideshare companies do. It's a thing that passengers who've taken these rides know exists. Okay, it's just a way of doing business, right? And so rates are good. And rides coming out of there, you may be getting, for a ride that might have been $15, you may be getting $40 for that ride. For a $30 ride, that could be $50, $55, $60 for that ride. That's the kind of thing that was going on, right? That might have been when I got my first $100 ride, but all that being said, let me get to the point. So it's 250,000 people in downtown Nashville. I get a ride request. I do my normal thing because now we got to make sure that people are lined up and are where they say they are, because we got people who are just walking to a point and pressing a ride request. And it's locking in, hopefully correctly locking in where they are. And so you're calling people, or I call people, and we literally can't hear each other on the phone. Can't hear a thing. And then I think, well, hey, let me send you a text, right? So we text message as I'm at the stoplight, stop signs, and because I'm in traffic, heck, it's easy, so I'm not advocating texting while driving. Using these voice to text commands, just make sure the spellings and the tenses and the intentions are correct, because those results can come out looking wacky, right? Simple point, just able to text back and forth with the passenger to be on point with where they were and where I'm picking them up from. And it worked out well. Great passengers, great ride. But it was as simple as using the text feature on your phone to communicate with the passenger, guys. And I say again, communication is key. It's key, and it's even more important when there are major events going on, when there are crowds and crowds of people. And just think, real simple, we couldn't hear each other on the phone. We couldn't hear each other. Thankfully, I called, but we couldn't hear each other. So I just decided to text, okay? Now, to some, that would be an obvious, but guys, I can't assume anything. One of my best professors in my doctoral program, I used to wonder why he was always so slow with things, why he was always explaining stuff that everybody understood or seemingly understood, and that was me younger, right? But I realized that the strength of his teaching was that he taught to the person that understood the least. Okay? And when you do that, you're sure to capture everybody. All right? So for those of you who tuned in, who this was a no-brainer, I appreciate you for tuning in. Think of it as a refresher. But for those of you who are struggling and this stuff is coming at you fast, slow it down. Call your passenger or send them a text message. Just make sure you're on the same page. Here's a quick tip. Some people that I know would already have a text message created, just an opening text message. Hey, this is blank, your driver. Just letting you know that I'm on the way. Looking forward to servicing you or taking care of you on this ride. And I've seen some drivers who would have that text message and it would add, hey, just an FYI, There's no smoking in our vehicles, no alcoholic beverages, and I would appreciate it if you didn't eat, just little things like that. And those things like that allowed for that driver to not have to confront a passenger about a thing, because it was already stated up front in the text message. So not just for that on-demand, on-spot communication, but also to get ahead of some things. And I thought that was a great use of a pre-written text message, so as to, in a brief way, lay out a couple of things that not saying it in a rude tone, but in a tone that, hey, I'm looking forward to being your driver, looking forward to this great experiences, and here are a couple of things that I'm hoping happen during the ride, And so it became, I'm about to say the words weapon, but I'm an athlete, right? That's more of it became an offensive, bad word again, right? Again, I'm an athlete. Offense is good. It's where you score. Weapon, things that you use at your disposal, or gifts or talents that you use in order to advance your purpose. That's what I mean by it. Okay. And that's why I'm keeping this recording, because it's just about communication, guys. Hang around long enough to find out what the message is, and some of us may not be offended by things. We can take things in a snippet, a piece, and run with it, because that snippet can take on its own meaning when lacking the context and the fullness of the information would give us a clear, better understanding. That's kind of the same way with making sure you call your passengers, making sure you text your passengers, and you may want to consider sending a pre-text out. As soon as you get the ride request, you shoot them a text message. Another great way, you don't have to talk and take the time to do that, but you let them know you're on your way. And if there are any special instructions you need to know, i.e., code to get inside the building, hey, pick me up at the clubhouse, hey, I'm outside of this building, hey, I'm standing across the street from this. Little things like that go a long way in making the transition smooth. The less time you spend searching for your passenger, driving around, passing them and looping the block, because some cities have these one-way streets, the more time you can spend on getting to your next ride. Completing that ride successfully, getting to your next ride. For the most part, guys, this thing is a volume business, and the things that you can do to minimize your time, to give you more time online and in rides, is going to increase your income. Okay? So guys, this is Lou, your rideshare coach, checking out. See you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.